Hey everybody, this is Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and I have a treat for you today. I'm sorry I am not live, but I have an extra special guest today. I have Nuria from the Home Boss channel, and if you want to listen, she has an awesome channel. I've been following her for a while. It's been a while, and I'm in a group, in her Facebook group, and all that information will be in the show notes. So please check her out, check her channel. It's got some amazing stuff, and she's got a great story, and I want to share that with you and let you kind of say hi. So Nuria, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got into KDP, why you think KDP is awesome?
I do think KDP is awesome. Thank you for having me, Ashley. So how did I start? Well, I started, I sometimes can't even remember how I started, because it was a moment, you know, when you search online, how to make money online, it was like that. I was looking for something to do online, and I must have come across KDP. I was blogging at the time. That was my thing. And I wanted to add to my blogs and do something else. And I came across KDP, and that's how it started. I started making a few notebooks, and I started in Q4, which is a great time to start.
And it was last year, right? So this is 2021. Yeah, 21.
Yeah. So I started 2019, November 2019, and Q4. So immediately I put on some notebooks and I sold a couple of notebooks. I think it was 2 weeks after I started. And I know that was because of Q4. I'm not kidding myself, you know, it was Q4 that did it. And but when something like that happens, you kind of get excited. You think, wow, this works, you know. So I was all excited, and I made more books, and then I started making logbooks and planners, and Q4 was okay, nothing like the Q4 the following year, but it gave me that little bit of confidence that this could work. So that's how it started, basically. And then January, it went down as usual. Every January and February, any business knows those are the quiet months, unless you are in a kind of business where, you know, I don't know.
Good memberships. That's their best month. January.
Yeah. So that's how it started. And then it went from there. I was still doing other things, because obviously I couldn't support myself just with KDP. So that was part of everything else that I was doing. And then slowly it just became better and better. And there were still lots of ups and downs. I think that I keep saying that, but I keep saying that KDP is not, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's like,
no, it's not.
It can be really encouraging 1 minute, and then the next minute you're ready to give up, you know, because you think, oh, I've gone off the radar. No one sees me. No one sees my books. No one's buying anything. And that is the moment where you either leave and then you know, you failed, or you keep going. And that's what I did. I kept going. And I think that is my best piece of advice ever, is to say to people, keep going, because it's easy to give up. And usually people give up just when they're about to make it, you know.
Yeah. And what I think is awesome about your story is you have, like, because it's kind of been a year and a few months, right?
Yeah.
So I started in 2015.
Wow.
And I did about 3 or 4 years before I saw any success. So I was making like $100 a month for 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
And so, so I want to tell people, like, persistence does pay off, and everybody's different. Everyone's journey is different. Don't compare. I think you've done amazing in a year and a few months. And apparently it took me a really long time to figure it out.
Well, do you know what? I'm really happy you said that, because I didn't realize that it took you 3 years or 2 years. And I think that is more realistic. You know, I think that is what people can expect, really, or it might be better if they expect that, rather than thinking I need to make money quickly, because it's not that easy to do it that way. And I'm really glad you said that, because I always look at you as someone who has way more experience than me, and way more I don't know, knowledge, way more
Unless
knowledge.
you do it wrong for a long time.
No, but it's all learning, isn't it? So you've
Yes.
really learned a lot in that time. And don't forget you do it part-time as well.
That's
So,
true.
and I do it full-time. So who's done better? You have.
And that's the thing I love about KDP. My journey may have taken longer, but I was raising 4 kids. I was pregnant when I started.
Yeah.
I had a baby who didn't sleep. I had like 2 hours of sleep a night. I was a wreck. I have 4 kids. So for me, my journey was long and I was frustrated and I wanted it to be faster. But I think people need to realize that it can be fast. And I think for you, a year is amazing.
Very fast. Yeah. And I'm very happy. Yeah.
But like it can be longer as long as you keep going. That's the thing I really love to tell people. I'm like, you can succeed. Just don't quit. And if you hate KDP, well, don't do it. That's fine. Exactly. But I loved creating stuff. But it's just taken me a while to get there. And that's okay too.
Yeah. And I bet now you're happy that you persevered, because now
my husband thought I was crazy, and he was so excited this December when he's like, "You made how much?"
Yeah.
And like, I had a friend pat me on the head and be like, "Oh, that's a nice hobby," and I'm like, "No, it's like a full-time income, but okay, thank you for your encouragement."
Oh, a hobby.
It's a hobby. It's a side hobby. It wasn't even a hobby. It was a side hobby.
Well, this is the problem when people ask you, what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't think many people understand what it is that we do. It's hard to explain. What do you say when people ask you?
I publish books. I say that. And I guess that's why they think it's a nice hobby, because, starving artist. And that's true. I was a starving artist for years, but now I'm not a starving artist.
Yeah. And do they say, what do you write about?
Yeah. And I say everything. I usually say I make planners and workbooks. I think workbooks is the easiest way to describe it to people. I say I make workbooks, and they're like, oh, okay. Like, I guess they can get behind that.
Because if you say I publish books, they think you write long novels or, things like that. And that's not the case either. And then what do you say?
Well, I did in the beginning, but that was way hard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So write a book a month. It was exhausting, and I couldn't do it any longer. I was like, no, I can't do this.
Was it fiction?
Yes, I did. Sweet romance, so clean romance, like Hallmark type romance.
Yeah.
So I wrote a book a month. It was exhausting. I wrote dictation. So if any of you guys do want to write, dictation is fabulous. I used to walk and write my books. So, and then I'd transcribe it, and it was amazing. So I could do 2 things at once, but it was hard. It was hard. So I had to do something different, and that's why I got into low content books. And once I really focused on that, I did a lot better. So.
Yeah, it's worth it, isn't it? Low content books.
It is. Well, and what was interesting is I took all that fiction knowledge, because there's a lot of fiction authors do. So if you guys want to know how to promote and advertise your book, check out fiction authors.
Yeah.
Like, there's a ton of awesome podcasts out there about fiction authors, and they know how to promote their books. And you can do the same strategies for low content. And that's what I started doing. And that's when I saw success, because it was like that magic that all came together, right?
Yeah. Branding is important, I think, So that is the next step, I think, for people. Once you've got your inventory of books and you've got a good bookshelf, I think branding is the next step, really. Yeah.
I think that's where it gets you from doing okay to really snowballing. That snowball, you're like, push the snowball off the hill and it starts. That's where branding is. But you've got to get through all the mistakes, I think, first. And even though people try and warn you of the mistakes, like you and I, all of you guys, you have to make them. You have to make some of them before it makes sense.
Absolutely. And you learn from mistakes. You never learn from everything going really well.
Except like you wish it was like that all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But that's good. All right. So let's see. What tips or tricks, or what do you think for the person starting out, what do you think you would really recommend to them?
Well, first of all, patience. That is really the main thing, because you kind of have to be in the mindset that this is for the future, or it's a little bit of a long-term thing. So don't expect too much too soon. That's my first bit of advice.
Yes.
But at the same time, don't be too negative about it either, because I see so many people thinking really negatively about this. Oh, only a handful of people will make a lot of money, or it's too saturated, or it doesn't work anymore. You can't just put a book out there and expect it to sell. And I see a lot of negativity. It's free. It's free to put a book on Amazon. Don't even think about it. I see people asking, shall I go into this niche, or shall I just go for it? Just try it.
Try it.
Yeah, just try, experiment. There's a lot of trying and failing and trying again and failing, and then suddenly something works. So that's the way you have to look at it. That's my biggest advice. That's from a mindset point of view. I think mindset is everything. The minute you start believing that you can do it, it kind of falls into place. Because I was very, not negative, but I was very doubtful.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I'm not good enough. I'm not an expert on anything. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. What kind of book am I going to make? I'm not, I always have that self-doubt in my mind. And I think the minute you start thinking, why can't I do it? I can do it. If so-and-so is doing it, I can do it.
Yes.
That's when it starts happening. That's when it started happening for me, really. So mindset is really important. And then other than that, invest in tools, invest in courses, invest in yourself. That's one of the things that I definitely recommend, because I learned a lot from other people. I bought Stacking Profits course, the Vault, and I learned so much from that, because it was just step by step following everything.
Yep.
And I bought Shashwat's course. I'm going to get your ads course next, I think, because I really need to do something about that. So I think those things are important as well, just to invest in yourself. As soon as you make a little bit of money, put some money by to put back into the business. Tools like tangent templates. That's my, I love tangent templates.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
They have the best calculator, KDP calculator.
Yeah.
KDP has a free one, but it's kind of so
I don't even look at that. I don't even look at that.
It's so awkward. And then theirs are so amazing and clear, and I really like that. Yeah.
I'm the kind of person, I can't work things out quickly. And Tangent Templates just does all the work for you. I want to make an 8.5 by 11, 200 pages book. Type it into Tangent. There it is. You've got everything that you need. Now try and do that yourself, looking at KDP.
Well, no, they actually have a calculator. I have it on my my site or whatever. But it's like it's got a picture of a book, and then it's got all these lines, and you have to like zoom in. What does that say? Why did they make it so painful? I don't know.
Yeah. So Tangent Templates, definitely, and Canva Pro.
Yes.
And then Creative Fabrica if you want to, if you need anything like that. So it just depends on how you make your books as well, and what you want to make. But definitely some tools I think are really useful. You don't need any, but they're useful.
Yeah, and you don't need to start with tools. I had someone who's like, I can't do it until I have Creative Fabric, or I can't do it until I have templates.
You can.
No, you need to start learning.
Yeah.
Like you have to learn and go through that learning process.
Yeah.
And then once you get it, that's when those tools help you. But at the beginning, I don't think you need the tools.
No.
Like just in the very, very beginning. I think you need to learn and start, and then you can do it. Then the tools are helpful because you can use the tools now. Like you know how to use the tools.
Yeah. I mean, I did everything at the beginning on PowerPoint, and I don't even know how to use PowerPoint. So that was something I had to learn, because otherwise, and Rebecca Holman is really good for that. So I learned a lot about PowerPoint on her channel. And so I think PowerPoint is actually really good. You know,
I love it. It's actually my favorite for covers. I know everyone's like, oh, but I love that I can set everything exactly how I want it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good for other things, you know. I mean, now I'm using it for things I didn't even think I was going to use it for. So I've just learned so much. And obviously for books, I use Canva mainly now because I find it really intuitive and quick. And it doesn't have to be complicated. None of this
is free. You can start for free on Canva. So that's a tool you can get for free, everybody. Like go on Canva, start there, and just use the free stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Free stuff is the best. So, you know, I love bargains. I love free stuff. And that's how I started. Everything was like on Creative Fabrica, they have freebies now and again. So that's what I used to use. And the free version on Canva has stuff that you can use. And some things you don't even have to make too complicated. Some covers are great with just a pattern or, you know, something like that. So simple is always best.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're starting, simple is best because it just... You don't know what you're doing until you start doing it. And it doesn't have to be, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be perfect your first one. Like I know people like, they hold out, it has to be perfect. I guess don't worry about being perfect. Just get it out there and no one will find it if it wasn't that good in beginning. Don't worry.
I know.
Get it out there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought at first. When I did my first books, if I look at them now, I'm embarrassed because I think they're terrible. But actually, at the time, I knew they were terrible. And I looked at them, I thought, surely this is not the best I can do. But I thought, I'm just going to publish it and then we'll see. And then we'll go from there and then I'll make another one. And I think that's what you have to do, because once you lose that fear of publishing, because that's another thing I found. Some people have a block where they don't want to publish. They think, I'm scared to publish. What are you scared of? You know?
I was terrified. I remember hitting the button and I was like, publish. I literally, that night I couldn't sleep. I was terrified. And then I woke up and it was okay the next day. I promise. It was
absolutely. And now I just publish. That's it. No problem. You don't even think about it now. But at the time it was terrifying. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But you just have to do it. Just go with it. And that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So what other questions? I don't know. What's your favorite thing about KDP?
Well, obviously the royalties.
Well, everyone likes money.
I'd be lying if I said anything else. That is the best thing about it. The first time I got royalties from KDP, I was just over the moon, because it's something that I love doing. And imagine getting paid to do what you love doing. It can't get any better than this. This is how bad it is. The other day we were talking about winning the lottery and all that, and I said, I don't even know if I want to win the lottery anymore because I want to continue doing this.
You can still continue doing it.
That's how much I love doing this. So I really like the process, the creative side of it, designing, thinking of niches, thinking what kind of book can I produce? You know, it's exciting. I find all of that really exciting. So yes, the royalties, obviously that, but it's the fact that I just really love doing this. That's valuable. That's a really, I'm a really privileged person almost to say that, to be able to say that. So how about you? What do you find the best thing about KDP?
I have two things. One, I'm a busy mom, 4 kids. I have another company, a job. So I like that I can do it any time in the day. Like I could do it at 2 a.m. I could pick it up. I can start it. I can stop it. You know, my kids are like, I want a snack. I can just go and leave. I love that aspect. I love the fact that if I get an idea that I can start at 2 a.m. because I have a crazy idea. And then, by 4 a.m. I can have a product out into the world, right? I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that I can move it around, right? I can do it, and then I create it once, and it brings continual income, right? I think that's so amazing.
That is important, isn't it? The fact that you can wake up in the morning and you can see the royalties that you've made overnight.
Yeah.
You know? That's never happened to me before.
That's why I stuck with it for so long, because I could see the potential that if you could get something that starts selling, it's like it's out there forever, and it can earn you money for, well, forever, your life, whatever, or even your kids, right?
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
And then I think the second thing I love the most is that I like helping people. I have a deep-seated desire to just help people, because I am fortunate. I know I'm fortunate, and that I can create something that might help someone. So I created a book for myself, and then I bought a bunch of them for Christmas presents, and I gave them to my friends. And I had so many emails and calls and pictures, and they were crying that this was really amazing, and it was exactly what they needed. And so I didn't care if I sold one of those books. Like, it was so amazing to me that I'd solved somebody's problem. It was, a problem I had, so I thought some of my friends with similar interests would have the same problem. And I thought that was amazing. Like, just being able to, from nothing, creating something that can help somebody. And I just think that's amazing.
That is one of the best things about it. And that's why I like to do YouTube videos about it as well, because I feel that at least I'm hopefully helping somebody else with my experience and how it happened to me. And maybe, hopefully, I can make this happen for somebody else. That's a really good thing. And how old are your children? Are they small children?
So I've got little one's 7. So 7, 10. Yeah, she's still 10. 10, 14, and 16. So I got the whole spread.
That's amazing. I don't think I would have been able to do this when my children were younger, because you're just running around all
day long.
Yeah. If you're not cooking, you're washing, and if you're not washing, you're cooking and preparing, and it's never ending. So I don't know how you do it. I need
someone to fold. I don't want so much the washing; it's the whole folding and putting away.
Oh,
so I did that for like 3 hours yesterday, because I hadn't done it all week. So it was like everywhere.
I still get that, and my kids are grown up. So.
So I need a folder and a put away.
Yeah. So it's hard work when you're doing other things. I'm lucky. I'm really lucky, because my children are grown up now, and it's not so bad now. It makes a world of difference. But, I do miss having them when they were still small, if that makes sense. So you can't win.
No, I know. I can't. I don't want my 7-year-old to grow up. Like, I was like, I told her at 5, I'm like, stay 5 forever. And she's like, okay, mommy, I'll be 5 until I'm 6. I'm like, yeah, okay.
She's right.
She's right. Like, stay 5 forever.
Yeah. Oh.
So she's a cutie. But yeah, but that is what I like about KDP. It's hard that you can do it anytime. I mean, that's one of the things. And we're military, so we pick up and move all the time. So we've lived, what did I say, 13 places and 14 places in 20 years.
Wow.
So my whole life has to go on hold for 2 months while we pack up all our stuff to go move it, and then unpack all our stuff. It's like 2 months of nothing else. That's all you get to do. It's just pack and unpack.
Do you find it easy to pick up again when you move? That when you find that things are not where they normally are, and you need to do your business, do you find that easy, or?
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard.
Sounds it.
So it's that's what's kind of nice about KDP, is that it's mostly on my laptop, but all my notebooks and all that, I have to move with those. Like, they have to be on my person. And it's funny, because I pack like 3 backpacks, and I'm like, this is my business backpack, and this is my backpack, and this is just my random junk backpack. And I take them all over with me. And so
you have to label everything as well, I guess.
Ziploc bags, masking tape, and a pen. You can label all sorts of stuff.
You're a really well-organized person then.
I'm not, but I try to be. How about that? We can all succeed at things we're bad at. How about that?
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Wow.
So, anything else?
Well, I'm just finding it really interesting talking to you because I kind of think you're so much more experienced. I should be asking you questions.
You can have me on your channel and ask me all sorts of questions.
Oh, yes, please.
So,
I'll hold
yeah, you're in England, right? So do you sell more in, I have a theory that people who are actually in the country like UK sell more in the UK than if you're in the US, you sell more in the US, but it's a theory of mine.
I think, well, I sell almost all my books in the UK. So I don't know why. I really don't know why. I sell some in the US, and it's not to do with the spelling either, because I spelled my coloring book the US way. I'm still not selling it in the US. I'm selling it in the UK. And so I don't know what it is. I don't know whether there's something in the algorithm that tells Amazon this person's in the UK. I don't know, but that's how it works for me. I sell more in the UK. So
I wonder if it's like the keyword, not the keywords in a sense, just the, what I want to say,
maybe it's a cultural thing or the type of books. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because at the end of the day, it's not that different. It's not. So I have no idea.
There is a little bit different, and maybe it might even be humor, because I lived in England, and we went to go see a movie, my husband and I, and we were laughing, and nobody else was, and then they were laughing. We were like, "What's so funny?" So I think maybe some of those nuances you would understand for your, the UK audience, whereas Americans, it's totally lost on us for like, why do they think that's funny? I don't get it.
Yeah, but then when you think about it, I mean, over here, we've got so many American movies, series, everything is from the US. So we're kind of used to that. I don't know if you're used to us over there, but we're used to that. So I really don't know. I don't know what it is. And the other thing is, maybe it's because I only advertise in the UK. That could be.
That is true. I have a book that does well in the UK, so I started advertising in the UK, and it's so cheap to advertise that particular book because I just don't think it has the competition that other ones do. So that could be it too.
Could be it. Yeah, I'm going to try advertising in the US now as well and see what happens. I don't know. But even before I started ads, I was selling in the UK. I wasn't selling much in the US. So we'll see.
It's so funny because, I have a book that does really well in the UK. And what's funny is I made a different version of the same book with the wording was different, and it totally sold in the US and not in the UK. So I don't know if that's just that it clicked better with the audience. You know what I mean? Like the wording clicked better with an audience. Then I don't know.
There has to be a reason, but we don't know.
No.
So we'll find out one day, I hope.
One day. Or does it really matter? I mean, yes, I guess it matters because you could repeat it, right? If you knew why.
Yeah.
You could repeat it.
But it doesn't matter as long as they sell. It's okay. Yeah.
Do you think that, there's that luck and experience? Do you think that some of this is luck, some of it's experience, or is there a mix?
I've thought about this quite a lot, actually, and I don't want to think that it's luck, because I believe you make your own luck. I think more than luck, it's mindset. If you've got a positive mindset about something, things seem to flow better, So I don't think there can be bad luck. Of course, there can be bad luck sometimes. Things happen outside of our control sometimes. But I think experience, I think perseverance, just really trying hard, not giving up. I think that's got more to do with it than anything else. And also knowing a little bit, I tell you what is really important, knowing your niche. I think that if you make a book and you don't really know much about the niche, I've got to be in my bonnet about coloring books, because everybody's making coloring books.
I'm not.
Nor am I. And I'm not going to make a coloring book until I make a really super duper coloring book. Because, I mean, you can make coloring books for children and they're okay because they're quite simple. But to make a coloring book for adults, to me, that's an art form. And what I see on Amazon is not what I would buy as a colorist who wants to color coloring books. You know, if you think of people like Jade Summers, is it? Or Joanna Basford, you know, they are amazing coloring books. You can't compete with that. And if you want to compete with that, you have to do something similar. So I think a lot of people are making coloring books and they don't understand what people are looking for in a coloring book. You know, there's a certain way people color in coloring books. There's certain tools they use. There's certain things they need for that. And people don't know about it and they're still producing coloring books. And you know, that's not it. That's not a coloring book. So I think, and that applies to every niche. You know, if you don't know the niche, you can make big mistakes in logbooks. I've seen logbooks that are for a certain thing and you think, well, I wouldn't even know how to use this. This doesn't make sense, you know, and it's because people aren't really studying the niche, you know, so you really need to know. So if you know about something, I would say pick niches that you know something about. You know, if you know a lot about moving house, probably. So you could really, you know, this is an example. You could really pick some niches there and really know what you're talking about. And if you don't know the niche, then really research it. Buy some books, you know, buy your competitors' books and study them and see how they do it. That's a good way to learn about a niche, you know. And I think that's probably what helped me the most, you know, knowing about certain niches. So, yeah.
And I think what you say is really important. Because there's that age-old advice I tell people, do something you know about. And they're like, oh. So I heard that advice, ignored that advice because I thought, oh, what I know about isn't interesting to people. Like, that's what I thought. I thought, what I know isn't interesting. There's already a bunch of stuff out there. I can't do it better, whatever. Like all those excuses, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't do it. And then the last year, I made something as a gift for somebody and in a niche that I knew, and it went like crazy. Yeah. So, and the light bulb literally clicked on. I'm like, I can do something I know about in a niche and be interesting. I just had to, I don't know, set aside my own doubts and do something for somebody else because this was a gift.
Yeah.
And it worked. Like, so I think we talk down to ourselves and say, oh, it's not interesting. I can't succeed with something I know, even though I know it, so it's not interesting or it's not valuable.
Exactly. And I think that we forget that what we know, even if it's a tiny little bit that we know, if we're able to pass on that tiny little bit of knowledge to somebody else, that's a big piece of knowledge for them, maybe, you know. So we kind of don't think of ourselves as experts. I always say that to myself. I'm not an expert in this. I don't know how to do this. But because I've done something like that, I can then teach somebody else do that little bit, and that might help them. You know, then they're a step further ahead than they were before. So you don't have to be an expert. You can just know a little bit and pass on that knowledge. You know, I always think the best teachers are not the ones that know the most. The best teachers are the ones that can pass on a little bit of what they know, you know. So that's how I learned anyway. I learned from the teachers that were great at passing on their knowledge rather than from the ones that knew a lot and kept it to themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of intimidating, the people who know so much, right? You're like, oh, I can never be like them. They're amazing and I'm not, right? But if that person who's just above you, you feel less intimidated. You're like, well, I can get to here, right? I can get that far. I can get there, right?
Yeah, it's just little steps, you know. If you look at, like, for example, you look at a journey, you know, if you look at getting to the end of it, that seems like very long, but, you know, just take a little step and then another one and another one. And that's how, that's how you get to any place. So, yeah. So it's not about knowing everything and knowing a lot. It's about doing what you can with what you do know. So, That's my motto, and I'm sticking to it.
Yes, I totally agree, because I think I passed on that advice and passed on that advice, and now I'm like, what was I thinking? I should have just been a little braver and just said, I know enough. I know enough about that niche than like some random person who knows nothing, right? So I know enough to help somebody, right?
Yeah. I mean, you've got very specific life experiences compared to other people. You know, you're in the military, you've done KDP, you're a mum. Not everybody has all of those skills. You know, not everybody is in the military, not everybody does KDP, not everybody is a mum, not everybody deals with this, that, not everybody moves. So to you, it's your life and it's normal. But to other people, it's not, you know. So everybody has that. Everybody's life is different to somebody else's. So we can all pass on something.
Yeah.
So
I agree, because I think people are so fascinating. I know people are like always interested in my life because I'm always doing weird stuff, but I'm always fascinated by, like, you know, how someone became, I mean, to this, how you became someone who's like a garbage collector. How did that happen? Or how did you, you know, why are you living in England? Is it because you were born there? Is it because you married? I'm just always fascinated on people's journey, because people are so interesting and unique, and everyone has a journey. And you may not think it's amazing or valuable, but to other people, they either want to experience that journey, or something you've done in your life can help them, because they're, at least in the sense that you're going through the same thing they're going through. And that is comforting.
Exactly. That's actually really, really true. And we never think of our own journey as anything special, but when you tell somebody else and they go, wow, I didn't know, how did you do this? And you know, then suddenly you think, oh yeah, well, I did do something pretty incredible there, or something unusual, but we never think of that ourselves, really. Yeah.
We're more like, I was surviving it. That was it.
That was just my life, you know. I just did what I had to do. So, you know, that's true for everyone. I think I think everybody has an amazing story to tell. We just don't know that it's amazing. So, you know.
So, and it is, I don't know. I love reading old letters, like World War II letters, and you just seeing slices of people's normal lives is really fascinating to people. Though you may not think it is, but it really is, because it's a different perspective, and people like to try on different perspectives and different ideas. And
yeah, definitely. I love reading about other people and their lives and how they do things, and going back in the past, how they did things. So it's fascinating. It's really interesting.
You never know what you can find.
No, exactly. And there's so much we can learn from, even though I think sometimes people never learn from mistakes unless you make them yourself. So.
That you make them yourself, or you have to make them again. I do that all the time. You know, you forget what you learned and you go, darn it, I knew that.
Someone said to me, there was a saying, I hope I get this right. It was like, God sends you difficult times to find out if you're still stupid.
That's true.
I thought that's true.
Just in case you didn't learn it the first or the second time,
exactly.
maybe by the third, you'll be good. That's really awesome. Well, is there anything else? If not, we've hit about 38 minutes here. I'm so excited to have you. It was so fun chatting.
Well, I hope that you come on my channel one day so I can ask you questions, because I find you far more interesting than talking about myself.
I find you more interesting than me. Than I know you, right?
Definitely not. I'm pretty boring, really. This is just show. I'm wearing my pajama bottoms underneath all this. So,
okay. Like, you can see my desk. It's a total disaster at all times.
Wow. Well, this is what working from home is all about, isn't it? We just kind of present ourselves in the best way possible, the most interesting thing we can do, but really it's our home. It's just normal life.
It is.
You know, like everybody else.
That is very true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you, Nuria, for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, I did too. It was really fun. It was actually real. We're very similar, I think, in different ways.
Yeah.
So I always really enjoyed, just talking with someone. I don't get to talk with people who actually get as geeky and as excited as I do about KDP.
No. And do you find as well that because we don't work in an office, I mean, you have another job as well, but like people like me, we just do this and we're at home alone usually. And we don't have any colleagues or people to talk to. Like when you're in an office, you talk. So other YouTubers, I find they're like my colleagues. They're the people that I see them as my co-workers almost. So it's nice to be able to talk to you today. So it's nicer than just watching you on YouTube. I can actually interact with you.
I know. I see your channel. I'm like, she's so like me, except you're very even and British. Sorry, but it's that British. It's just calm with the beautiful accent. I love living in England. Everyone had a beautiful accent. And then there's us Americans who drive. I had my American car through the drive-through. Oh, so I had to get out and get my food at the drive-through. They thought I was insane, but they just laughed at the stupid American. So
oh no, don't.
I just said hi. I'm the stupid American. It's okay.
You're not stupid at all. You're very clever.
I had that car. It's what I had.
Well, it was really nice talking to you, and hopefully we can do this again one day. So
yes, definitely. I'm gonna have you back here in like 6 months or a year, something like that, because
anytime.
This is fun.
All right, just send me a link and I'll be there.
That's perfect. All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up. I'm so glad Nuri got to be here, and I'm so glad you got to hear. So check out her channel, and they'll be in the show notes, her Facebook group, her channel. Check her out. She is awesome. If you like me, you're going to love her. So I will see you all next week, and next week I will be back live. So see you all then. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.